From New York City, it's Wendy Williams. Today, Dr. Oz shares his thoughts on living a healthy and happy life. Plus, Hollywood Life has the inside scoop on a shocking reality star split. And all the latest juicy hot topics. Now, here's Wendy.
Studio audience, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm glad the weekend's here. I could use the rest. We've got a terrific show for you. You know, Khloe gives Lamar an ultimatum. And the time is running out on the time he has to respond. I'll tell you all about it. The inside scoop we also have today on some shocking reality star breakups. And we've got a sneak peek of the new season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. Studio audience. Right after today's show, I'm going to spend my weekend with my friend Trisha Yearwood. Well, here's the thing. You know, Trisha's been on our show before, and I'd been a fan of hers through the television because every weekend I watch her show called Trisha's Southern Kitchen. You know she does a cooking show. And she gets a lot of the recipes that she's made up herself, and a lot of the recipes have been in her family for years. And you know, her husband Garth loves to eat, and Trisha's got kids, and it's just, you know, it's just good, down home, easy breezy, unpretentious fun. So I'm grabbing my jeans and my flats and a couple of nice sweaters, and I'm gonna spend the weekend with Trisha in Trisha's Southern Kitchen. And, you know, by the way, her new season starts on Saturday, November 16th on the Food Network. You should check her out. She's a lot of fun, easy to watch. So now, time is running out. Khloe told Lamar, by the way, happy 4th anniversary, you two. I know. Well, according to In Touch Weekly magazine, Khloe sent Lamar an ultimate letter. And in the letter, excuse me, what? Oh, excuse me, ultimatum. Ultimatum letter. It was still a letter. I wonder if it was handwritten. You know what I mean? There still, to me, nothing cuts like the written word. Like, you can send somebody an email, but that's not in your writing, that's in computer font. You know, you can send somebody, a dead fish, but you're not the one writing the note that goes along with it. It's the dead fish purveyor, you know, who writes the note and then puts it in. But nothing like a letter, pen to paper, with exclamation points, misspellings, and dots to really put somebody through it. So, you know, she sent him an ultimatum letter, and in the letter, she reportedly said to him, "You've put me through hell." And she goes on to tell him, "I feel great, I feel good about myself, so bleep you." Khloe report. No, I like this. Like, you know, sometimes you just have to lay it out on the line for somebody. Reportedly, Khloe is giving Lamar until the end of today to decide if he wants to stay in the marriage. And his decision has got to come along with some sign that he's willing to get some help for himself. Otherwise, she's allegedly filing for divorce. Now, so, Lamar, you only have until midnight tonight. And then I guess if she's gonna file for divorce, I don't know. You know, the other day I was telling you that Khloe was saying that she's gonna wait until they finish filming the new season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians to file. So who knows what's going to happen. But this certainly is a story worth watching. I still wish them both so well. You know, like, even if they divorce, good luck to you, Lamar. Khloe, good luck to you. If you stay together, good luck to you. Yeah. Speaking of those Kardashians, have you seen the photos of Bruce Jenner with a bandage on his nose? It's not plastic surgery. It's cancer. Yeah. Well, Bruce has skin cancer, and it had, you know, some of those skin cancer marks removed from his nose. Have you ever known somebody to have those removed? I've seen them. I think they call them, well, I don't want to go into the medical part, sarcoma or something? I don't know. Basal cells. Basal cells. Anyway, that's what he had, and according to the Star magazine, while Bruce was under the knife, Kris was allegedly partying in Mexico with Joe Francis of Girls Gone Wild. Now, first of all, doesn't Kris look like she's knocked about 20 years off of her life? She looks so young and beautiful. Not that she's old and horrible. I mean, you can say a lot about the woman, and we do, and we'll continue to. However, she's a very nice looking woman. But right here, doesn't she look so refreshed? Maybe Joe Francis is the guy for her. I don't know. Look, she's like 57 or 59, 57, and he's 40 years old. You know, he is used to Girls Gone Wild, so why not a mom gone wild? Bruce, of course it's cold-blooded that you're going through your procedure and your wife is partying in Mexico with a younger man. But you knew what you signed up for. Sorry to hear about what's happening, Bruce. And Kris, Let's move along. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they're back for another season. Do you guys watch that particular franchise? All right, clap if you do, clap. So you do. I was just telling Andy the other day that, you know, that's not, like I kind of lost contact with those girls. But I think I'm going back in this season because there are two new characters. And Adrienne Maloof, by the way, and Taylor Armstrong, they say, are gone this season, which I like those two, but okay, fine. Taylor was a little bit, I always thought that after Taylor's husband killed himself, that she needed to have, you know, just get off reality TV and take care of your life and take care of your daughter and like that. And then the Maloofs, you know, unfortunately, Adrienne's gone, but they're two new housewives that I think we're gonna like, so I'm gonna go back in and watch. The one at the top is 39 years old, if you can believe it. She needs more moisturizer. She's 39, but she's a high-end interior designer, and she married rich. And so the one at the bottom, her name is Joyce, and Joyce is a 38-year-old Puerto Rican princess who's married to a movie producer. Now, this is great, because we don't have any Puerto Rican housewives. Wait, no, Evelyn. But no, she's a basketball wife, doesn't count. We're talking about housewife. This is a whole nother season of all-out war. The ladies are going at it. Apparently, you know, Lisa Vanderpump is spreading rumors that Maurizio is cheating on Kyle. Which that is so below Vanderpump. Don't you, you know, and maybe it's the accent that fools me. I just expect more from her than that. And well, let me show you the clip, and then we're gonna talk about it, okay? Because we've got a clip for the upcoming season, so it's our hot clip of the day. Roll it.
Do you seriously think that she is like blackmailing Mauricio and Kyle?
Everybody knows it's a fucking lie, and then my family is the one that has to suffer? That's bullshit.
I'm seeing her make you pay for that. We are all her puppets.
I thought you just needed rehab, but obviously it's just you.
Shut the up.
You're so stupid.
Who do you think you are to call me stupid?
I'm tired of your goddamn mouth. You're a big, stubborn old man. Shut up.
Why do I have to explain myself?
Being such a good friend to Randy. Sometimes some things she's done are being vicious.
If you don't want to be judged for being a wicked, then don't act like a witch.
You don't fucking dead, mommy. I know you're the chess player of all time, but I just fucking checkmated you.
It looks like it's gonna be a really juicy season, but the most distracting revelation in the whole clip is that Vanderpump smokes. And she doesn't just smoke, she smokes down to the nub. I had no idea. And I loved when the one lady called Vanderpump's husband, you shut up, you stubborn old man. I love it. And then did you see how tanned or muddy that woman in Vanderpump's closet was? Did you see her tan? I gotta see these new women up close. So Real Housewives of Beverly Hills returns to Bravo in November. And we'll be watching. So, you remember the show Sabrina the Teenage Witch? If you have children, then you know that Melissa Joan Hart and Joey Lawrence, they have their sitcom on TV. Well, Melissa Joan Hart may seem like the good girl next door, but still waters run deep. She's got a new tell-all book, and she's revealing that she used to be a bad girl. No, a real bad girl. Melissa revealed that she experimented with weed, mushrooms, and ecstasy in her early 20s. Look how she uses that crimp iron. Do you remember the crimp iron years? OMG. She also admitted to showing up to a Maxim magazine photo shoot high on ecstasy after making out with a woman in a limo ride from the Playboy Mansion from a party the night before. That's good. You can't even get an emotion out of that, can you, co-host? Ooh, messy. She also dishes about hooking up with actor Jerry O'Connell and Backstreet Boy Nick Carter. Nick, who will be here next week, by the way. So, in conclusion, behind the girl next door persona, Melissa Joan Hart is my kind of girl. Melissa Explains All is the name of the book, and it hits stores October 29th. She's been here before. We need to get her back here. She was a fun guest. You know, now she's married and she's still acting, but she lives in a ritzy part of Connecticut, and she's like really into owning, she owns a candy store with all varieties of candy and stuff. She's, good for you, Melissa. Okay. I'm very, very upset to deliver to you the following story. Jennifer Lopez has opted out of the Coal Miner movie. Okay, well, Jennifer, remember I was telling you that Jennifer, last season I was telling you that she was set to star opposite Antonio Banderas in the upcoming movie about the Chilean coal miners. You remember the story? They were trapped in the mine for 69 days. This is back in 2010. This, to me, is the story that must be told, you know, for a variety of reasons. And I don't care whether it's on the big screen or Showtime or wherever it's going to be. But according to Deadline.com, Jennifer just quit the movie due to scheduling conflicts. The film's producers are scrambling to find an actress to replace her before shooting starts in November. Well, I mean, if you're going with a Hispanic woman, Sofia Vergara would be good. Selma Hayek would be great. You know, she and Antonio Banderas have worked together a lot. Don't call the really pretty one in the makeup ads, though, because I don't even think of her as an actress anymore. Eva Mendes? I don't think of her as an actress anymore, which is not a read. I'm just saying that, you know, she's always in makeup ads, and you always see her in search of or with her man, which right now it's Ryan Reynolds. She's not an actress anymore to me. She's a like a beauty socialite person or something. Anyway, this is a story that needs to be told. I do believe this thing about Jennifer's scheduling conflict, because last season when I first reported that they were going to be doing this Chilean Miner story, remember, Jennifer was not on the board to be a new An American Idol judge. And now she's a new judge, and I'm sure there is a scheduling conflict. But again, producers of this movie, please still tell this story. It doesn't matter who you get in there. You can call Suzanne for all I care. Just tell the story. Okay, everybody, get ready. It's time for the Inside Scoop. Hit it! Congratulations on your engagement, too.
Thank you to the lovely Brian Mazza. He's a great guy. I'm very, very happy.
Good for you, Khloe. Okay, everybody, Khloe Milas is here. She's from HollywoodLife.com, and she's got the inside scoop. She's our old friend. So, all right, let's talk about the shocking reality breakups.
All right, so Real Housewives of New York star Luann de Lesseps, once known as the Countess, she was dating Jacques for about 4.5 years, and we saw them on the show. He seemed like such a great guy and the perfect guy to be possibly her next husband, but they have broken up. all right? And it's because he wanted to start a family with her and have babies, and she kept trying, and she couldn't give him the family that he wanted, so they've decided to go their separate ways. He moved out of their apartment in Manhattan, and I was with her last night at Hakkasan in Midtown, and we hung out, and she is really upset. This is not some fake breakup, okay?
Well, now, how old is everybody involved here? How old is she?
She's in her late 40s,
She's like
and
my
he's
age.
in his late 30s, so there's about a 10-year age difference there. But he wants babies, and she feels like I have 2 children that are already going to college, that I don't want to have to start over and be a mother to babies again, even though she did try. But here is a little interesting tidbit I have for you,
What?
little exclusive.
She's pregnant?
No, but that her ex-husband, the Count, she said is still in love with her, and that they could be getting back together. No one knows that.
Okay, thank you for that scoop.
Yep.
By the way, this is how a Count dresses. You don't just go into the men's warehouse and pick up a suit when you're the Count.
No.
You dress Count-like. Listen, the Count and she, I would love to see them get back together because they can rework the terms of their marriage. If once in a while...
she'll be the Countess again. Everybody wants to be known as the Countess or princess or a lady,
She will always be the Countess to me. I'm like the only person who still calls her that.
I know, she's the best. But look, she's looking a little thin. She definitely is not going out getting drunk every night like some outlets are reporting, that she's drinking her sorrows away. That's not true. She's doing great. She and Jacques are on great terms. They're still texting and speaking to each other. They're leaving the door open, but...
She and the Count.
Oh, there I am with the,
Last
with
night
the
partying.
Countess. Proof that we're besties.
Yes, but let me just say this though. You know, a woman, if they were dating for 4 years and she's 48 years old, then a 44-year-old woman dating at that point, he was like 34, that should have been nothing but a drive-by or a hookup anyway. You know that, a man with no kids is going to eventually want to have kids. And when Dr. Oz comes up here, I'm going to talk to some of you girls who think your rotten eggs are going to spit out kids. I'm just saying.
And they did talk about adopting. They did talk about adopting.
Too, my rotten eggs.
So.
They talked about adopting.
They did, but it didn't
Please.
work out. No.
Luann, I'm sorry to hear about what happened, but you and the Count, or you and somebody else more age appropriate who doesn't want children, much better. Next story.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about Jon Gosselin, the former reality star.
Yes, all right, so listen, I'm just speaking to these people directly is how it happens here at HollywoodLife.com. I just actually got off the phone with Jon. We just spoke, and he is living in the woods, okay? And that's what everybody is talking about, is the fact that he's living in the woods, and he's waiting tables at 2 different restaurants, not one.
Wait a minute, but don't make it sound like the man is living in a tent and a tarp. He lives in a cabin in the woods.
Okay, but it's a cabin without cable, without a telephone. He has a cell phone, and he really is living kind of, some say in like a very reclusive lifestyle, but he's a really nice guy.
Okay.
And he is really struggling to get a job in IT, which is his background, his profession.
Right.
Because Kate Gosselin is suing him, saying that he helped this guy write a tell-all book, and that he did wiretapping, hacking, and all these things that you shouldn't do if you want a job in IT.
Yes.
So he told me today that Kate Gosselin spreading all these things about him, which he said are not true, lies, are actually keeping him from getting a job, which is hurting him from being able to pay
his child support.
He doesn't pay child support, but paying for his children's lifestyle and things like that. So
Now,
he is upset.
Now I heard the paparazzi went in the woods and tried to take pictures of him.
So Jon actually went to his house after work to change his clothes, so then go pick his kids up at school, which he says he never does, but he felt like he needed to that day. And when he went home, he saw someone driving slowly in front of his house, and it ended up being a female paparazzi, and he verbally told her to get off his property. He also has warning signs, that say stay off my property.
Wow, like a real hillbilly.
He fired a gun as a warning sign to get her off the property because she wouldn't leave and she kept taking photos, but he fired it at the ground, and the police are not pressing charges.
Right.
She's not pressing charges, and he rightfully did it, and I support his decision to do that, and he's
So
not
do
a
I.
crazy guy.
And also, Khloe just mentioned he'd come home from work and he was going to pick his kids up at school. What you need to know is that he's now waiting tables at just a plain old restaurant, burgers and fries and ribs and stuff right there in
And he's
Pennsylvania.
not trying to get back into Hollywood. He actually would like to be on the other side of the lens, maybe creating shows or something like that.
The thing about Jon, and everybody falls down at some point and get up, but what I appreciate about him is that a real man knows that if you've got kids, you've got to support them no matter what you do. And a lot of men would not wait tables because they think they're too good.
Yeah.
So, Jon, for what it's worth, good for you.
Yeah.
Khloe, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Everybody, for more of these juicy celebrity stories, go to HollywoodLife.com. We've got a great show for you. America's favorite doctor, Dr. Oz, is here. But up next, it's time for Celebrity Fan Out. Don't miss it. Time for Celebrity Fan Out, so let's get started. Our first Celebrity Fan Out comes from Irisha, Irisha W, who watches our show on WAGA in Atlanta, Georgia. Irisha says, how you doing, Wendy? I was at Los Angeles Airport when I spotted my favorite actress of all time, Angela Bassett. You both look so good looking. Yeah, that was very sweet, she said, of you to take a picture or of her to take a picture with you. Can you believe she's 55? It's like no makeup, just good. And Irisha, you're a good-looking woman as well. All right. All right, our next Celebrity Fan Out comes from Jade N, who watches our show here in New York on WNYW in the Bronx. Jade writes, Wendy, I went to see Jay-Z and Justin Timberlake concert this summer, and guess who I bumped into in the crowd? None other than Joe and Melissa Gorga from Real Housewives of New Jersey. They were both very friendly and happy to pose for the photo. Melissa looked tan and fabulous, but Joe seemed pretty wasted. It was the best concert ever. By the way, Melissa, nobody works a romper like you. Cute girl. And we'll see you next week when you come to our show. Melissa's coming to the show next week. Thank you for that one, Jade. Okay, our next Celebrity Fan Out comes from Tanisha R, who watches our show on KTTV in Los Angeles, California. Tanisha writes, hey, Wendy, it's not very often that I go to the movies and end up seeing a movie star outside the theater instead of in it. But that's exactly what happened to me recently with Hollywood hottie James Franco. He was so sweet and happily agreed to take a photo with me outside the theater. I'm a huge fan of his, and he did not disappoint. I didn't think it was possible, but he's even more handsome in real life than in the movies. He is, you know, he's very handsome, but more importantly, Tanisha, why are you wearing dangly earrings and a fabulous dress to the movies? Most of us wear Uggs and ratty jeans. Good for you, you're high class. Okay, our final Celebrity Fan Out comes from Shaquita S, who watches our show on WSVN in Miami, Florida. Shaquita writes, Dear Wendy, Dear Wendy, my cousin and I were craving cheeseburgers recently, and she wanted Burger King and I wanted McDonald's. I finally gave in and agreed to go to McDonald's. I'm very glad I did, because who was there having lunch with his family? It was rapper DMX. He was very nice and agreed to pose for the photo with me and then pose for another photo with my cousin. Look, I'm only laughing because inside I have a joke, but I don't want to say it. But I'm gonna say it because you're my people and you'll understand I'm not mean. But didn't we just say he had no money in the bank and $50 in his pocket? So that means he's down to like $10. But at least he's not eating outside of his means, you know, like at some other restaurant. Thank you all, DMX, I'm sorry. Thank you. And Shaquita and all of you all, thank you for your fan outs. If you've ever had a celebrity encounter and you want to share with us, sharing is caring. Go to wendyshow.com. Up next, everybody, it's America's favorite doctor, Dr. Oz is here. Making his debut on Oprah in 2004, our next guest has been teaching millions of Americans how to heal and be well. We all call him America's Doctor, and now he's celebrating his 5th season of his own successful talk show, The Dr. Oz Show. Take a look.
The drugs affected your marriages, ended your marriages. It almost ended your band. How has it affected your relationship with your children?
2 of them never saw me high until about 7 years ago. I had a bunch of operations and I simply didn't follow my program, and I kept the drugs by the side of my bed, so I just did more. instead of doing what was prescribed. Remember, I'm a very good drug addict. Very good.
Why is that?
Because I've done it for so many years. Why are you a good doctor?
Practice makes perfect. Please welcome America's doctor, Dr. Oz. Have a seat. You know what?
Wonderful.
Thank you, doctor. Okay. Here's the thing. Okay, the first thing I noticed is that you have the shoe that all the men are coveting. No, put him down in front of the camera. Every single man that I know who's well appointed has
yellow.
They're the Cole Haan shoes.
They can't see it down there.
I think they're called Luminaire. They're the Cole Haan shoes.
That's the view you want.
Yeah. No, there's cameras down there.
Oh, you do have a camera
yes,
there?
Yes, we have a shoe cam.
You have a shoe cam, of course. That's how I always wonder, how do you get a camera in so close?
Oh, yeah, the magic of the shoe cam. All right, so welcome. Congratulations on your 5th season.
Thank you very much.
We both started together.
I'll never forget, we both started, I kept on looking at you and I said, how does she talk so well? I don't know how you do it. You come up with ideas, you make it fun. I kept thinking, I'm just a doctor. I'm never gonna be able to make this happen.
But you've transitioned. You're a doctor, you're a talk show host. You're doing it.
I have good teachers. I had Oprah, I had wonderful folks.
But here's the thing. When you started out, it was scrubs. Now, it's not scrubs. And you've transitioned. I noticed this season, it's more of what you're wearing right now.
Well, a couple issues come up. The first is most people, and when I do wear jackets, and I do for serious interviews periodically, it does intimidate people a lot. But what I've learned over 5 years, and you get good at things after a while, at least good enough to be able to go to new heights.
Right.
That I can make bigger demonstrations. I can do louder things. I can get bigger folks to come on, like Steve Tyler, and talk honestly about their life.
That was a big rating score for you to get him. I understand it was like one of the most watched shows ever.
Yeah, it was nice for us, but it also means people trust us.
Yes.
And so when you can go in different directions, you can talk more than just about health. You can talk about life.
Yes.
Which is what we're all real interested in. Who cares about your health if you're not having the best life possible?
Yes.
So they go together hand in hand.
So, the other day I was watching or reading somewhere that you said that you are not getting a flu shot, that you don't do flu shots.
No, I got my flu shot yesterday.
Oh, hey, that was incorrect.
That was incorrect.
Misinformation. I'm glad I asked.
You know who doesn't get a flu shot?
Me.
My wife also.
Really?
We have a fight in my house every single year. My wife does not believe in the flu shot, thinks she can, get through life without having any immunizations.
Maybe that's what you were saying, and I thought it was
But
your whole
I do
family.
respect her, and I don't want people feeling like their chattel being herded into the corral to get immunized. That stated, I don't want to spend a week on my back if I get the flu. And more importantly, I operate.
Yeah.
So I'm taking care of people. They can't afford to get the flu from me.
Right.
So I'm feeling an appropriate obligation, I think, to get immunized.
The flu shot. All right.
I could do it right here. It'd be so
on
perfect.
I'm not getting a flu shot, Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz. No.
It's such a nice arm to immunize.
It's soft, isn't it?
It's just the perfect arm to immunize.
Dr. Oz, I saw you in a dress on the internet. And I want you to explain what are you doing? Dr. Oz?
Did you like it?
I like that you would go there with your sexuality, like you're very comfortable. But what kind of stunt were you pulling?
Well, I wanted to walk a mile in your shoes, literally.
As a woman.
As a woman. And so I dressed up as a woman in order to go into a shoe store and talk to women about why is it that you put those crazy things on your feet.
Did they know it was you? Did they know it was you?
No, look at that makeup. I had the Saturday Night Live guys do all that makeup around my eyes. They have different lips on there. I would be a more attractive woman than that, please. Please. They shaved my hand. I got waxing on my hands. So I walked in there, and I kept trying to sell shoes to women. So they come in with the, 4-inch heel desire. I said, well, those shoes, they look wonderful on you. These short heel shoes, they make your legs look longer. The best line of all was I would say, my feet are big. If I could pull off those small shoes, I'd buy them like that.
Yes.
Which is a wonderful tactic, by the way.
Okay, Oz. It's just very funny. You know what? It's nice that, such a smart and accomplished man, you have such a great sense of humor and you can do things like that. It's been a very, very fun season.
But can I say one thing? In fairness, those high heel shoes, they're not just a problem because they hurt your feet a little bit. They're a problem because they mess your knees up, your lower back, they cause headaches.
Well, that's why you have to take them off right away. Like, I have my shoes on for the show. Yeah. As soon as the show's over, I take off the shoes.
I see all kinds of women walking around with shoes all day long. That I would never, and believe me, the hard part for me of that whole segment was dressing up like a woman because it's painful. And the worst part, I'll tell you, those Spanx you guys put on, those Elastigirl things, oh, The first is you can't get it on. It presses, you don't think about it. I finally figured out why women are in such a bad mood all the time, at least around me. It puts pressure on your bladder, so you have to go to the bathroom.
All the time.
And as a guy, it's a problem. You can maim yourself getting that stuff off.
Yes.
So,
well, on another note, a lighter note than that, congratulations on the baby in the family.
Yes.
Daphne Oz, Dr. Oz's daughter, is gonna have a baby.
Yeah.
So do you and Lisa, are you and your wife traditional grandparents, or will they say grandpa and grandma?
There's a lot of longevity in our family. All the great-grandparents are still alive. So they...
Fabulous.
It's fantastic, but they hog up all the names.
Okay.
So there are no names left.
Yes.
So I'm actually out there openly soliciting. People will just go to my Facebook pages and give me thoughts. I'm looking for names.
Grandaz.
Huh.
Grandaz.
Grandaz could
Grandaz,
work.
grandmas.
Grandaz, grandmas.
Yes.
Wendy, you heard it here.
Oh.
You heard it here.
I love your daughter.
She's wonderful.
She's such a nice girl. So there are a lot of celebrities, Dr. Oz, these ladies in their 40s like me with these rotten eggs thinking they're gonna be having babies. And a lot of the girls pull it off with flying colors. And congratulations to them. Halle Berry, for instance, just had a baby at 47 years old. On one note. On the other note, we see people like the Countess Luann de Lesseps that we were talking about in Hot Topics, who was not able to get pregnant, and she's like the 47, 48-year-old too.
Yeah.
So Daphne is 30, 29?
She's 27.
27.
I have been telling, see, I have 4 children, three daughters.
Yes.
And I told them all the same thing. The optimal time to have a baby is around age 30. Let me explain this. I know this is not what people want to hear, but I'm just going to say it. I'm a doctor. Part of my job is to tell you the truth and have you respect me even if you don't love what I'm saying. So the reality is, for most women, by the time they're age 30, they've figured out life a little bit. They're making a little bit of money, maybe. They've been in some relationships, so they understand the game. They know how to form a stable pair bond. But they're still as fertile as they're ever going to be.
Yes.
And when you get past age 30, you start to get less fertile. And by the time you get to age 35, it begins to sink quickly.
Okay, aside from fertility, though, there are also some things like Down syndrome and things. At what point does it just become dangerous on all parts to even think about getting pregnant?
I would never say that it's just dangerous, you shouldn't do it.
Okay.
Because if you're blessed to get pregnant at age 47 and you want the baby, that's wonderful.
Yes.
But there's no question Down syndrome and across-the-board problems start to increase after 35.
Yes.
When you get past 40, 41, 42, it gets to be expensive, too, because it's hard to do it on your own.
Yeah, yes.
So, and what I see from some people that I care about dearly is that they think, you know what, I'll wait till I'm 35 to make a decision.
Yeah.
Well, that gets delayed a year or two.
Yeah.
And then at age 40, I'll start having the baby. Well, by then, you actually sometimes don't have the ability to do it naturally.
And I play when I say rotten eggs. I mean, you all do what you want. I'm joshing with you. But on a serious note, so Oprah opened up about nearly having a nervous breakdown. We talked about it the other day on Hot Topics. I don't want to do the whole backstory, but what is a nervous breakdown, and how do you know if you're losing your mind?
A nervous breakdown is a short circuit of your emotional system. So we have the ability to cope with stress. Something might happen to you today that you're unhappy about. You'll figure out a way of linking up with people that love you to deal with it.
Okay.
A nervous breakdown happens when all those defense mechanisms fry themselves out. They're no longer there. And with your defenses down, every small little event that happens pushes you further over the edge. And when you
when you go over the edge, what do you do? What are you doing?
Well, it's a profound sense of lack of control and no real sense of where your destiny is. And then all of a sudden, without a passion for life anymore, you become flat. But mostly what you are is a wounded animal. So you cower over, physiologically, I'm describing this, so your heart begins to pound, you begin to feel panic attacks oftentimes, but you sort of pull back into a corner because you can't deal with any more incoming. That's a classic definition of a nervous breakdown. The best way to get out of it, or a related similar problem, is to get people you love to make sure that you know that they love you. Because that has to come up over and over again to remind you that you're worth it.
Yeah, there we have it. He's so smart. Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz and I are going to test our audience's knowledge on some of our favorite celebrities' famous phobias, so you don't want to miss that one. Keep it here. Dr. Oz is still with us, and we're talking about celebrities, but we didn't know that some of our favorite celebrities, Dr. Oz, are dealing with some very interesting phobias. So, Dr. Oz, what's the best way to get over a phobia?
Well, depending on what it is, if it's something you can embrace, then you actually want to do something called exposure therapy. So let's say you're afraid of spiders. You want to get near a spider, realize it's not that dangerous for you, and then get past it. And these phobias, you know, they're often based in real fears we had 1,000 years ago.
Right.
And so if you understand that reality and get past it, then you embrace, it's true about life, right?
Yes.
Things you fear the most, embrace them and get past it.
Well, we have a little game. It's our wheel of celebrities, and we're gonna find out what their phobias are. So who's going to go first? There you go. How you doing?
Hi, Jazz. Hi, Wendy. How you doing?
What's your name? Where are you
Maura from New Jersey.
Okay, here we go, Maura. You spin the wheel.
Okay.
All right. I think I know this one, Dr. Oz.
Of course.
It's Oprah. And you know what her phobia is? She's got a fear of, Maura, A, glitter, B, balloons, or C, Spanx. And her phobia is called globophobia. A, glitter, B, balloons, or C, Spanx.
Balloons.
Yes, B, balloons.
Well done.
Yes.
Very well done.
What's with that, Dr. Oz?
Something about balloons popping. It's actually the noise that bothers people, the unexpectedness of it, the lack of control. And then pop.
Huh. Thank you. Okay, let's find our next one. How are you? How you
How
doing?
you doing, Wendy?
Good. What's your name?
Deborah. You could call me Deborah, Dr. Oz. You could call me D-Lo.
Oh. Ew.
I'm gonna stand over here.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna help Deborah. I'm just here to help. I'm just here to help.
Give it a whirl. Oh. I like your spinning technique.
Yes. And it is...
If it's Oprah, we're gonna go to the next one.
Oprah again. No.
You know what? We'll go to Katie Holmes. Is it gonna be fear of people? She's such a recluse. Katie Holmes has what they call procyanophobia. Procyanophobia. It's a fear of A, raccoons, B, airplanes, or C, cruises.
Raccoons.
Hey, raccoons.
Yes, you're correct.
How did you get that? How did you get that?
Interesting.
This is a good fear to have. Raccoons have rabies.
Yes,
so.
yes. And now, how are you?
Hi, Wendy. Hi, Dr. Oz. How you doing?
Fine, thanks. What's your name, young lady?
Kiana from Philly.
Okay, Kiana, go ahead. Give it a whirl. Procyanophobia. Interesting. Oh, good. It's Madonna. Okay. Madonna has what they call brontophobia, which means a fear of A, dinosaurs, B, thunder, or C, aging.
I'm gonna go with dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. It would seem like that because but no, it's thunder.
That was a good guess, though.
That was a good guess.
Very good guess.
All of you guys are gonna go home with Wendy Show t-shirts. Thank you so much for playing. And Dr. Oz, we've got a special gift for you as well. Here it is, a blinged up stethoscope.
I feel completely honored. This is wonderful.
Where it is.